Hey, welcome back to the Same Shirt Club. Um, Today, we are going to change it up and talk about sending your kids back to school.
This is
I'm
also
Keith.
a
Yeah.
continuation of the Grown Man Get Their Nails Painted Club. And I'm Rodney. This is Daily Chronicle. So we talk to our future selves, our future daughters, selves, and build community with you. I have to blow my nails now. And I need pink on this side. And so today we're going to talk about reopening schools and wearing masks. Two separate topics.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how both play into this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we ultimately got asked by one of our avid watchers to maybe occasionally talk about some current events, and we're like, yeah, let's give it a shot. I mean, it'll be fun for our daughters to listen back to in 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, so I have a pretty active take on the school thing. A couple takes. One, because I'm president of the board of the Boys and Girls Club, and we just reopened 3 weeks ago. Yeah, 3 weeks ago, on a trial basis, and for this first few phases is specifically for healthcare workers, children, and family, and then we have a list of families, and we've triaged based on people that have to go to work and they need some place for their children, which actually informs my. So I think what we're doing is good, and there's been some cases of clubs that have been open this entire time and been very successful at not spreading the COVID, and but it kind of informs my take. I think a lot of people are pushing really hard for schools to be open. We got teachers that are historically underpaid. So it's weird. It's got this thing we're asking teachers and our children to put themselves in harm's way, instead of maybe asking companies to change how they allow their employees to work, the time that they require from their employees, making it easier for their employees. I got to pick up red nail polish. Got it. Got him. Instead of just augmenting the way we look at work so that families can do what they need to do, maybe have a family member come to the home and help with children and help them pay for that, or help them pay for a nanny or something that they could have in a more isolated fashion and more secure fashion to help, versus, you know what, companies need profits and we got to go back to work, so you guys just deal with it and open schools back up. But those are my takes. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a interesting perspective. Adds a little bit to mine. I mean, the way I look at this, I mean, we're being more cautious, and we're being on the cautious side in general. But at the end of the day, when you look at the science of it, you evaluate the ways you can manage this and understand not just who's impacted, because I think the science of COVID on kids, while they aren't necessarily going to, there's data out right now that they're not going to spread it. They don't spread it as easily. They're not as impacted. They don't get as sick, though, as it gets classified as a vascular disease rather than a respiratory virus or a vascular virus. There certainly are impacts on children. The thing at the end of the day is we don't know the long-term impacts of this virus. 20, 30 years from now, similar to, as Dr. Fauci put it, if you have chickenpox as a kid, that virus stays in your system forever and can reemerge as really painful shingles and pink nail polish on your skin. It's good. But at the same time, we also know how we can manage this. And if this truly is a circumstance of collective involvement, where, to your point, businesses can help people send their kids back to school or manage their children in a way that allows them to work while allowing for the best, because, hey, it benefits the business, it benefits the individual, it benefits the child, because there's a lot of data out there on the benefits of going back to school for children. Then we all decided to wear masks because for whatever reason, that's been so politicized. And I mean, we know the reasons, but it still doesn't make sense a lot to me, because it's like, just wear a mask because we'll all be okay. There's just a lot of sociological research on the impact of regular social distancing and consistent mask wearing that reduces the spread of the virus. Then we can reopen responsibly, and we can all help each other out and send kids back to school, whether it's 2-3 days a week, alternating, whatever that looks like. Like, we can do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a binary choice. Like, we can all manage certain sacrifices to make sure that one half of this argument isn't managing all of the sacrifices.
Yeah.
Right.
And if we would have done that up front, then the effect on business and the economy would have been less. And
that's right.
We could have kept moving and still. And to the consequences part, one of my neighbors works at one of the biggest testing facilities in the West for COVID at UCLA. And we were talking yesterday, and I didn't realize that one of the biggest, most common side effects of this is dialysis. People going on like kidneys, like shutting down.
Kidneys fail. Yeah.
That's for those who don't know, I don't watch the news, so like I don't know anything.
Keep us up to speed on all this stuff. Yeah. Continue.
But yeah, we don't know what we don't know, and there's also a way to reasonably do this, and I think it's having the actual conversation with the actual data. Like the same person who made this idea for us was talking to the chief of patients at a large hospital network here in Southern California, and that person suggested to him, asked him the question, have you ever blown out a candle at 6 feet? To talk about transmission, like why 6 feet is important, and really 3 feet, honestly, like you're not even touching the flame at 6 feet. And so at 6 feet, you and I there's the chances of infecting each other are so little. So it's like, all right, if we play by the rules that science has given, we really can be safe.
And I think where, it's at the end of the day, the conversation around masks has changed since the beginning. Distancing has always been a thing. And regardless, like the one reality that we all need to accept is that we're 6 months in, 6 months in the States, 7-8 months of this actually
maybe
since Wuhan, of knowing this virus. Like, we've known the flu for 100 years. We've known HIV for 25 or since 1980s. We know chickenpox for a really long time. These have been studied for a really long time. We don't know this virus. So we have to accept the fact that the knowledge on this virus is going to evolve. But if the minimal impact to our own personal well-being is that we have to spend a little time apart in between each other, and maybe it's best to wear a mask, especially if we're inside, like, that will help us maintain stability in the economy if we're all taking part in it. And if it turns out a year from now that means nothing, at least the economy didn't have to collapse as a result, right? So it gives us that space to just work through this with the knowledge that we're learning, and allow our kids to go back to school as it needs to, allowing our businesses to stay open, and work through these situations. If we can all just be a little more, just all of us,
a little
every
more
one
screamy.
of us, a little more screamy.
Quick question: how do you feel about wearing masks? Or what's your take on wearing masks?
I have no issue with it, but I don't have any respiratory issues, and I'm not working in 100-degree heat. So I also
you don't have any issue wearing them?
Piece of it, but yeah, I have no issue wearing them. I like wearing my mask.
I like wearing my new mask. I got one I like because I have, like, I am a fan. I'm a proponent of wearing masks. I just forget it. Like, I have one in my car, and then like I'll be walking around because I walk more, and I just don't grab it because I gotta go to the car and I gotta get it. So I just got one. I got one of those like neck gaiters. it just stays on. I can just pull it up. It's lovely.
So I did read some reports on the ability for those to catch the droplets. They're very, very actually poor at helping. They're better than nothing, but they're not great. So for catching droplets and preventing them from, because they don't have the same. They're a lot more porous and it comes up a lot more. And they did some like infrared as compared to a filtered mask or a cloth, like a woven mask. Like stay-at-home masks aren't as great. That's why they suggest you put coffee filters in a stay-at-home mask, so it helps.
I don't even know what stay-at-home mask is.
I'm sorry, the made-at-home, the do-it-yourself mask.
Oh, well, those would fall into the woven brand, wouldn't, or would they?
Depends on what you make them of.
Depends on what you make it out of.
Like, yeah. And if you're using like my wife made them and we used a coffee filter and we put them in there because that's what it was suggested at first. So, different effect, still better than nothing. And if you're outside, it's not as big of a deal.
If you're outside,
and you keep social distance, you'll be in better shape than not wearing anything at all.
Reese.
But nonetheless,
do you think you could hit it harder?
So this was fun. We've got a drop, but hey, listen, we only ask. Let's all do this together.
That part.